Skinny Hardaway 7T back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy, whether you here for a good time or a long time. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy, whether you here for a good time or a long time. I'm about to get my camera up soon because we about to do a rundown on some. I just want to drop some information on y'all. Again, I'm not here to sway no opinions or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I'm just here to provide, some information and give you my thoughts on the information. You know what I mean? Sometimes I come here, to ask questions, you know what I mean, to see how y'all feel about it. Today, this is an informational tea. You know what I mean? This is something that I feel like, my Southern T should know. I feel like the family should know. You know what I mean? Um, shout out brother Drew Titan. I was on brother Drew Titan's show earlier today, and brother Drew Titan, is the one that put me on this information. So shout out Drew Titan. You know what I mean? I want to come and have a conversation about it with my people. I also hit out to Clarissa Shields' team, personally, directly to Clarissa Shields' team, and I did my best. You know what I mean you know to try to get a hold of somebody. I was unsuccessful, but you know what I mean? I went to her pages. I went to her goddamn fan pages. I went to the business email and everything. And I sent over information, on this subject and whatnot, because I just think, it's something that they should be aware of, you know what I mean? Or at least, have a heads up on. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily any foul play going on right now. You know what I mean? But if you've been here for a minute, you know that I've been following, this whole, gray area, with boxing. This right now I'm on the Daniel Killahan thing. You know what I mean? It is, still in full effect right now. You know what I mean? Full fledged right now. And I am play the interview for y'all so y'all can see it, so y'all can get a visual, of the person that I'm talking about, of the subject of the video. Now, the subject of the video is, Savannah Marshall and TeamFury. But, to get in more specifics, the subject of this video is Peter Clarke. You know what I mean? Peter Clarke is a friend of Peter Fury. Peter Fury is the trainer of Savannah Marshall. Savannah Marshall is facing off against Clarissa Shields September 10th. You know what I mean? The Team Marshall, Team Fury, they brought in, a new trainer into the camp, Peter Clarke. You know what I mean? No, this is not, something out of the ordinary, you know what I mean, for, us content creators and, people to talk about, when teams, switch members or add members to their team or whatnot, you know what I mean? So this certainty ain't no different, from anything else. But with this particular member, with this particular team member, this new team member, this guy, he just got on the team because he was just released from prison. You know what I mean? Peter Clarke. We're about to get exactly into who Peter Clarke is, y'all. You know what I mean? I'm gonna bring it up on the screen. We go, we go Google his name. We go Google his name, and we go see what pop up. And I'm gonna give you my thoughts and my insights, and we go rock and roll from there. But this guy is the newest member to Team Marshall. Hold on, wait. Let me say what's up to everybody in the building. The people that spoke, rest of y'all rude. What's good, Skills? Appreciate you sliding through this joint. TWT in the building. Shout out my guy DS. Glad you can make it, DS. Appreciate you sliding through. If y'all could do your boy a favor, smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. My Brody, Josh Sanders, 86. What's good, Brody? Appreciate you sliding through. Josh 86 always sliding through. Josh been here since he been here. Appreciate y'all good folks sliding through. Jay Gibson, what's good, pimp? Appreciate you sliding through this junk. TWT in the building. Glad you can make it, pimp. Glad you can make it. Again, I love seeing my TWT brodies. I love seeing my TWT brodies in the building. It always brings your boy, you know what I mean? So it's good to see the TWT family in the building. I know it's late, and I know I normally don't do a show, but I'm here to hit y'all with some info, you know what I mean? The people that's up, the people that's up right now, they go get it, and the people that ain't, I hope y'all, can catch the playback. What's good? We talk sports. Appreciate you sliding through this, John. We talk. Glad you can make it. TWT is in the building. Shout out my guy. We talk sports. Appreciate you sliding through this, John. If y'all could do your boy a favor as y'all roll on in, y'all smash that like button for your boy. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, if you could smash that like button for your boy. We about to get it going in just a second. I'm about to bring my camera up, and then we about to bring the screen up, and I'm gonna show y'all exactly, who I'm talking about in the subject matter at hand tonight. I think this one y'all gonna want to see. You know what I mean? I think this one the family gonna want to see, man. For real, for real. I am a little disturbed by this. I'm a little bit disturbed as I ain't even gonna sugarcoat it. I am a little disturbed by this news that I found out. I mean, Big Tex was good, Big Tex. Appreciate you sliding through this joint. Glad you could make it. TWT in the building. 88 Sports Talk. What's good, fam? Appreciate you sliding through this joint. 88. Glad you can make it, pimp. Glad you can make it. If y'all could, do your boy a favor. If you choose so, smash that like button for your boy. If you just getting in, whether you gonna be here for a good time or a long time, you could smash that like button for your boy. Okay, family, we about to get to it. Okay, family, we about to get to it right now. Hold on, let me fire this button up. Okay, my bad, family. We about to get to it. So, Savannah Marshall and TeamFury, they brought in a new team member. The newest team member to the family is, this guy named John Clarke. You know what I mean? It's an interview. I got a hold to a link. I got a hold to an interview of them actually introducing John Clarke to the to Team Marshall. So we're going to break down that video. We're gonna break down that interview, real quick. So I'm gonna let y'all hear it for yourselves. So I want y'all to hear, a little bit of it so I can put a face with a name. Now we're gonna pull up the interview, and as we, watch the interview, I'm let you guys see like what jumped out to me, right? So this is the interview. This is the guy. Let me
and never worry about hidden fees. With YouTube TV, try it free.
So at the beginning of the interview, right? Peter, right? Peter Fury and Peter Clarke. You got Peter Fury in the black, you know what I mean? And you got Peter Clarke in the light blue shirt. Now, before we get into the video, so y'all can have an idea, who, Peter Clarke is, now that you can see his face, right? Y'all see his face? Let me go to the chat let me go to my chat in the phone so I can be in the chat as well. Okay, this is Peter Clarke right here. Right? This is the guy that we talking about. We go Google Peter. We about to Google Peter Clarke as well. Okay? Now, we're about to Google Peter. Clarke, right? Okay. So let's Google Peter Clarke, you guys. There's a lot of Peter Clarks, right? So it's a lot of Peter Clarke, right? Peter Clarke, 6'6", 240. That's not the Peter Clarke that we're looking for, right? Soccer player, that's not who we're looking for. Peter Clarke, NFL tight end. That's not the Peter Clarke who we're looking for, right? Peter Clarke, artist, South Africa. Nope, that's not the Peter Clarke we're looking for, right? Peter Clarke, talent promoter. Okay, look, it's a lot of Peter Clarks, right? So let's just skip the hard part, right? So let me just get straight to, okay. I'm about to put in this right here. Okay, now I want you to look at this guy. I want you to look at this guy. Batman, Edgar Sosa, what's good? Appreciate y'all sliding through. My bad, y'all. I can't see y'all from this screen, but I can see y'all from that screen. What's good? Edgar, appreciate you sliding through this, John. Edgar, glad you can make it. Pim, glad you can make it. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Like my brother Diaz just said. Batman 817, what's good? Appreciate you sliding through this, John. 817, glad you can make it, Pimp. Glad you can make it. I'm in here, hitting y'all with this info. No, rap with me. Follow along with. I'm gonna try to make this quick. I'm gonna try to make. I'm on the wrong thing. I'm gonna try to make this quick, right? Okay, so this is the guy. This Peter Fury. I know who Peter Fury is, right? Boom. This Peter Clarke. Now let's get back to Google. We googling Peter Clarke. Now that's a lot of Peter Clarks, right? We can't find them. We just went down the list of Peter Clarks, right? So let's put in this Peter Clarke drug lord, right? Let's put in that. Okay, so now Peter Clarke drug lord, right? So let's images. Let's go to images. Okay, so we got this picture of Peter Clarke next to this guy. Who's this guy? I wonder who this guy is, right? So we got this guy. Then we got, okay, none of these are Peter Clarke's. Like, but okay, do you notice something when I type in Peter Clarke? What do you notice? Now you notice it's a couple of Peter Clarke's, right? This guy's a singer, Clarke Peters, actually. His name is Clarke Peters, so not even him. So Peter Clarke, right? That's a picture of Peter Clarke. That is this guy. That's the same guy. So the guy next to Peter Clarke in what looks like a mugshot, right? It's a picture of him. So I'm just guessing his name is Clarke too, right? AB to IT was good, AB. Appreciate you sliding through this, John. AB, glad you could make it. Pim, glad you could make it. TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through. Yes, I'm the conspiracy guy though. I don't know nothing. I'm no conspiracy guy. But y'all ride with me. Y'all ride with me for a second. What's good, unscripted virtuoso? Appreciate you sliding through this, John. Unscripted. Take a trip with me. Take a trip with me, unscripted. Take a trip with me. So this is the newest guy on Savannah Marshall's team, right? You see it down here. You can clearly see that. I'm not making this up. So this is the newest guy on the team, on TeamFury, Team Marshall. This is the newest guy on Savannah Marshall's team right here, right? This guy, right? Like Straight Talk, Peter Fury, and Peter Clarke on Loyalty Inboxing / Hero and Savannah. AJ versus, So these are they fighters. Hero and Savannah are they fighters. And they're talking about AJ Usyk. But we all know Tyson Fury trains Hero and Savannah, right? So this is the guy, Peter Clarke, that they just hired. Literally like this week. We Googling Peter Clarke to see what he looked like and to see what stories pop up on him. But I noticed something about Peter Clarke's images. It's a lot of guns and knives and mug, and it's a mug shot. The first picture is a mug shot I see about Peter Clarke, drug lord. So let's go down. I see Peter, and this clearly is Peter Clarke. This is clearly Peter. This guy, right, is clearly this guy, right? Right? This guy is clearly this guy, right? I win the greens, right? Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button. So let's just scroll down a little bit. Guns, knives, police at the door. Gangster Peter. Wait. Y'all see this? Do y'all see this? It's a Peter Clarke. Gangster Peter Clarke was arrested. Peter Clarke, gangster Peter, a gangster. Peter Clarke. This guy. This Peter Clarke. I mean, the one on TeamFury and Savannah team. What could he be doing on team? Okay, but let's just click it to make sure this ain't the same Peter Clarke, right? Let's just make sure this ain't the same Peter Clarke. This video shows the moment gangster Peter Clarke was arrested in his luxury home. Police swooped to pick him up after drugs investigation, and it has now been revealed that Clarke found a drug dealer who was sitting in the back of the police car after being caught with 3 million cocaine haul in Tarleton. Is this the same Peter Clarke that we talking about? Is this the same Peter Clarke that we're talking about? This ain't the Peter Clarke on Savannah Marshall team, is it, y'all? Nah, this can't be the same Peter Clarke. Let's see. Okay, let's go back for a day. Okay, let's scroll down. Feared the gangster Clarke brother to pay back just 600K. Army corporal. So he's a former Army corporal, right? Turned drug dealer. Where does this guy fit into boxing at? J-Man, what's good, J-Man? Appreciate you sliding through this junk. Glad you can make it. Brothers. Oh, brother. So it's two Clarke brothers. So wait, this guy. So this guy must be his brother. So this must be his brother, huh? Oh, this is brother. Okay. Now that picture makes sense. But okay, I digress, y'all. Let's keep going. We're trying to find out more about who this new guy is. Okay, let's reveal. Okay, I see a lot of cocaine, drugs, international. Let's take a look at this one. Is this the same Peter Clarke that we talking about? No. This can't be our Peter Clarke, not the one in boxing. This can't be the Peter Clarke in boxing, right? No. This can't be our Peter Clarke, not the one in boxing. Okay, it's the wrong one. That's my YouTube.
Operation Red Star was a 12-month investigation into a serious and organised crime group led by Peter and Stephen Clarke, originally from Netherley, Liverpool.
How long you got? Is this the same guy? Is that Peter Clarke? Am I tripping, y'all? Y'all tell me something. Y'all tell me. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, if you could, do your boy a favor and smash that like button for your boy. Great lyric. Is that the same dude, y'all? Or am I tripping? Am I tripping? Or is that the same dude? That's the same dude, huh? That's the same dude, huh, y'all? Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. I'm just trying to see who's this new guy that, that Team Marshall and TeamFury brought into the camp. What's good, J-Man? Appreciate you sliding through this, John J-Man. TWT in the building. Glad you can make it, pimp. Glad you can make it. Shout out the newest member to the TWT family, J-Man Great. Appreciate you sliding through this, John. But yeah, dog, Vada is involved in this fight. Vada is involved for this fight. But as far as the cheating shit go, that's why she quote unquote hurt herself earlier. You know what I mean? And then the fight got pushed back until October. This fight was supposed to happen in July, but Savannah Marshall got hurt and she couldn't come over here to the New York press conference. She got hurt and couldn't come to the press conference over here in America. But I really know she couldn't come over here to the press conference in America because she linked and to that Daniel Callahan shit. Her name is on their list of fighters who linked to Daniel Callahan. But I digress. Appreciate you starting to do this, John. We talk sport. They look like the same dude, huh? Don't they? Let's just see. Let's see again real quick. Do this guy right here that's sitting next to Peter Fury, who's the trainer of Savannah Marshall, right? Do this guy in the blue shirt look like this guy? Well, hold on. Let's finish the video.
Investigation into a serious and organised crime group led by Peter and Stephen Clarke. Originally from Netherley, Liverpool, more recently residing in Banks and Tarleton in Lancashire. Primarily, this was a drug importation and distribution investigation.
Hell yeah.
However, the case uncovered several wider conspiracies.
Hell yeah.
In addition
Do it now, J-Man.
Including the possession of firearms,
hell yeah,
a conspiracy to commit grievous bodily harm, and money laundering on a huge scale.
In September 2011,
I'm going to let y'all hear that again.
It was immediately apparent he was living beyond his means.
Distribution investigation residing in Banks and Tarleton in Lancashire. 12-month investigation into a serious and organised crime group led by Peter and Stephen Clarke. Originally from Netherley, Liverpool.
First thing I want y'all to hear is 12-month investigation. Now, AB, he not on the website. He not on the website. Yeah, AB, add him to it. 12-month investigation, so it'll take at least a year.
More recently residing in Banks and Tarleton in Lancashire. Primarily, this was a drug importation and distribution investigation. However, the case uncovered several wider conspiracies. In addition to this, including the possession of firearms, a conspiracy to commit grievous bodily harm, and money laundering on a huge scale.
In September 2011, officers started to watch Peter Clarke.
Money laundering on a huge scale.
It was immediately apparent he was living beyond his means. The use of high-volume cars was observed, as was frequent overseas travel. In the month of December 2011, this was spent in Dubai with his older brother Stephen and their respective families.
So that is his brother.
In their absence, Peter's lifelong friend, Gordon Fisk, took over responsibility for delivering drugs across the northwest under the cover of his legitimate employment as a blind salesman.
What purpose does this guy serve? Why would Peter Fury hire this guy? What purpose? How did Peter Fury meet this guy? Like, where? G Fizzle was good. Appreciate you sliding through this, John 5. Glad you can make it. These TWTs is everywhere. Appreciate you sliding through this, John. Like, what purpose does he serve on this team? How do he even know him? You know what I mean? But let's keep going.
Salesman. Arrests on the 2nd of March 2012 demonstrated the extent of this supply.
2012 is 2022. That's 10 years ago.
On that morning, Fisk was seen to attend an associate's address in Bootle, Liverpool, where he collected a consignment of drugs. He then provided them to an associate, Terry Sargent. In the video, Sargent can be seen with gloves on, hiding 2 kilos of cocaine under the bonnet of a hire car. Sargent then delivered the hire car into the hands of Alan Bentley, who was tasked with driving the vehicle to Northern Ireland. However, he was stopped at Birkenhead docks and arrested with drugs worth over £98,000 on the streets of Northern Ireland. Meanwhile, the team were monitoring the activities of other gang members. Mark Higgins had been tasked with transporting the cash.
So this is the guy that John Fury is aligning himself with. How do you know this guy? Where did you find him at? So he gets out of jail and you hire him? Drug lord? But let's keep it going, right? Because they finna give you a breakdown over the whole team. Y'all want to hear all these crimes these folks been doing? They finna give you a breakdown of the whole squad. You know what I mean? Like the whole family. But let me fast forward.
Mid-terraced house, where it was the presence of money counting firearms, including a sawn-off shotgun, Glock and Ruger 9mm pistols, 2 loaded .38 revolvers, and 2 stun guns. On the 20th of June 2012, Titan officers went to search an address in Derby. It was the home address of Sukhdev Singh, the gang's international money launderer. £172,000 in cash was found in an unassuming mid-terraced house, but it was the presence of money counting machines and ledgers that revealed the true scale of the illicit trade. Cash transactions totaling over £51 million over a 3-year period were documented.
Cash transaction totaling over 51 million over 3 years. This guy that TeamFury just hired on his team, this guy now works for Team Marshall. He's on the team. He's on TeamFury. They're working with Team Marshall. Savannah Marshall got a fight coming up. My thing is, how does Peter know him? Why does he work for the team? You know what I mean? So we just got to the bottom of who Peter Clarke is. We saw all the Peter Clarks before we, pinpointed that this is the Peter Clarke that we're looking for, right? You know what I mean? Look like the same guy to me. Look exactly like the same guy. But let's finish. I'm gonna let this finish.
Peter Clarke and Gordon Fisk had been evidence visiting Derby on a number of occasions. The dates corresponded with the code names being used in the ledgers. Entries using the code name amounted to £1.8 million in cash of the overall figure. Further high-purity cocaine, ammunition and cash were seized from Manchester-based drug dealers during the summer. The net was closing in fast on Peter Clarke, and so the focus of the investigation turned to his older brother Stephen, who had long been associated with the Liverpool night scene and Dorset's security industry. It was apparent that Stephen's business interests included drug dealing, violence and money laundering. Stephen was identified as being instrumental in the arrangements to supply cannabis to Northern Ireland. On one such occasion, his associate Mark Wyatt arranged for John Wilson and others to transport 16.5 kilograms of the drug worth £300,000 from Birmingham offences, Murphy having been found to be hiding almost 185.
Clarke. Let me show y'all something.
Criminals, including 14 men and 4 women. Cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, amphetamine and cannabis thoroughly dismantled this crime group with the prosecution of over 30 criminals, including 14 men and 4 women. Cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, amphetamine and cannabis with a combined street value of £4 million were recovered. A frightening cache of firearms and weapons was seized, and the team uncovered an international money laundering operation involvement the movement of over £51 million in cash during a 3-year period. As a direct result of the professionalism and tenacity of the investigation team and the Crown Prosecution Service.
Those the same pictures. I mean, we looked at those images earlier when we put in Peter Clarke. Those the same images that we saw in those pictures. They found this shit in his house. Y'all. They found this shit in his house.
Direct result of the professionalism and tenacity of the investigation team and the Crown Prosecution.
That's him right there. That's him.
The majority of the defendants pleaded guilty at the first available opportunity, without the need for trials at great public expense. Proceeds of crime proceedings have now been implemented to strip them of their ill-gotten gains.
Okay, so now let's go to.
Thank you, Kareem here for BBTV. We're in Congleton today. I've got the two Peters with me here, TeamFury, Peter Clarke. I'll start with you, Peter. It's been a good session today. I mean, it's really fascinating to watch world-class trainer and a world-class athlete working together. It's high-level stuff you were working on today.
Just a madman, Aki, doing my thing. I dream it and the night before, and I think, I'll have a go at it today. That's all it is.
When you say madman, is that sometimes how you feel when you're in the boxing gym? You just feel like it's a crazy world anyway.
No. It's yeah. I think we just get on and work. It's been a hard session this morning. So it's been what's it been, Peter? 2.5 hours? Yeah. 3 hours. So we do a good pad session, which helps me to do the pad session because obviously me and Peter does them. So over Wednesday morning, especially today, it's a heavy pad session because there's 2 of us. So it helps.
God can help you, Travis. I don't need you.
So basically what John Fury just said, right, is Peter Clarke is the pad man. He said, we do a lot of sessions. We need pad man, and Peter helps. So basically, he said Peter is his pad man, right? But we go continue. So far, that's what he said.
Yeah, and I should introduce you, Peter Clarke. You do the, fitness elements, strength and conditioning, some of the nutrition stuff as well. And what's it like working? And I know you've worked with Peter a long time, but now we're officially on the camera talking about it. So,
did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I'm gonna play this again.
It doesn't. So over Wednesday morning, especially today, it's a heavy pad session because of two of us. So it helps.
Yeah, and I should introduce you, Peter Clarke. You do the, fitness elements, strength and conditioning, some of the nutrition stuff as well. And what's it like working? And I know you've worked with Peter a long time, but now we're officially on the camera talking about it. So
he was about to ask him what it's like working with Peter. He said, I know you've been working with Peter for a long time, but never officially on the camera. What the fuck does that mean? He said, what's it like working with Peter? Well, I know you've been working with Peter for a long time, but never officially on the camera. What? So how have you been working with him off camera? But I proceed.
So what's it like working within that framework? Do you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, love it. It's great. Oh yeah.
He said, so what's it like working with him within that framework? What fucking framework? He said, I know you've been working with him, but never officially in front of the camera. But what's this like working with him in that framework? What fucking framework? What was y'all doing off camera? But listen to Peter. Then listen to what Peter said.
Some of the nutrition stuff as well. And what's it like working? And I know you've worked with Peter a long time, but now we're officially on the camera talking about it. So what's it like working within that framework? Do you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, love it. It's great on a day-to-day basis with Peter. And I can look at some things, and there's things that I don't see, and I turn around and speak to Peter, and Peter sees everything. He does, Peter picks up on the slightest little things that they're doing wrong. He stands to the side and sees it, and everybody else can be standing there watching things, and Peter picks up on exactly what they're doing wrong, exactly what they're doing right. So it's great to see and great to watch.
Can we say where you met? Is that right to say where you met? Or
well, we've actually.
He just asked him, "Can you tell me how you met?"
Can we say where you met? Is that right to say where you met? Or
he said, "Can we say where you met? Is it all right to say where you met?" So the first red flag was he came on and he said, how's it working with Peter? Well, he said, well, I know you've been working with Peter, but never officially on camera, talking about it. So how is it, working with him in that aspect? And then he just said, is it okay to say where you met? Can we say where you met? So now, they're about to answer one of the questions that we had about where they met, right? Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Now they're about to answer one of the questions that we had about where they met, right? So let's keep going.
Well, we've actually
picks up on exactly what they're doing wrong, exactly what they're doing right. So it's great to see and great to watch.
Each other probably 20, 25, probably.
Can we say where you met? Is that right to say where you met? Or
well, we've actually known each other for probably 20, 25, probably even 30 years. Yeah. Because in Liverpool, and I'm roughly.
So he just confirmed that. So he just confirmed that they've known each other about 25 and 30 years. Now, look at his face. Look at this. Look at this shit, y'all. Like, do he look at this. He looked real uncomfortable right there, don't it? Like the interview, like my guy Diaz just said, it's like he not sure. Look, said whoever doing the interview sound like he walking on eggshells. Diaz said shout the interviewer for the slick questions. Everybody walking on eggshells. And look how nervous Peter looking right now. You know what I mean? He just said, I've been knowing him 25, 30 years. Peter, you know what I mean? Type shit. The interviewer already said, well, y'all been knowing each other for a long time. Y'all been working together off camera. You know, but what it's like working with him on camera talking about. But look, I'm gonna let him keep going. But Peter just said that they've been knowing each other about 25 years. I'm gonna play it back.
Wrong exactly what they're doing right. So it's great to see and great to watch.
Can we say where you met? Is that right to say where you met? Or
Well, we've actually known each other for probably 20, 25, probably even 30 years. Yeah. Because in Liverpool, and I'm mostly in Manchester based, so
Look at him.
we never actually met. So we met in the lovely Strange Ways Hotel.
yeah.
So
he said we met in the lovely Strange Ways Hotel. Y'all know what that mean? The lovely Strange Ways Hotel. That mean prison. But I'm gonna keep going.
He was doing his normal life stint, and I was doing near as damage in numbers. So that's where we met. Now listen, we've always knew of each other anyway in the family, so we met and we've got on ever since.
Did y'all hear what he said? He said, "Nah, but we've always known each other in the family, though." What family is you talking about, bro? What family are you talking about, Fury? He said, "We've always known each other in the family, though." What family are you talking about, Tyson? What family? He said, "Nah, I've known him about 20, 35 years, about 25, 30 years. But no, we've always known each other in the family, though. But we've never met, you know. And now look at him. Now look at him. Now don't he look uncomfortable? You know what I mean? Don't he look uncomfortable now? You know what I mean? You had him rubbing his face and his head, you know, stressing out. Now you got him rubbing his face and his head. You know what I mean? But you know, let's continue, right? Let's continue.
Doing near as damage in numbers. So that's where we met. Now listen, we've always knew of each other anyway in the family, so we've met and we've got on ever since. And since we've both been out, we just got together and that's it. I don't have strength and conditioners. I've had them in the past, no disrespect to anybody. But I want my own people in here. I've been fucked around with boxing like you wouldn't believe. I want people, these my own people that I care about and trust, and they care about me and trust me as well. So that's what I want in my gym. No more imposters in my sight. Yeah, only people, loyal people who's with me, that's it. That's all I'm interested in. He knows they've got his back and he's got mine. You know, I don't mean in any other circles except for being friendship, caring about our families and doing our best. And you know, it's not just that. You know, nobody knows more about strength and conditioning than what he does. He's done all these degrees. He's done everything.
He talking.
I think there is. He's been in special forces in the army when he was younger, which he'll tell you himself. You know, nobody can tell him anything on the human body. So it's good. It works perfect for us because
you missed the good part of
he takes
scripting.
a lot of stress off me, and he knows he's boxing because he's boxed himself as well. So the thing is, with the training side, I can concentrate more on the boxing, and sometimes I don't even roll in on the mornings because he does it. I ain't got to think, has he done this, has he done that? I know it's getting done. That's the difference.
Yeah.
God can help you.
So he basically explaining, you know, what's his role on the team. You know what I mean? He also said that he's a former Marine. So he's a former Marine turned drug dealer. You know what I mean? A former sergeant turned drug dealer. If y'all just rolling in, can y'all do your boy a favor? Smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Y'all, we actually, you know, we did get a rundown. Now we getting into, you know, the actual video of him, you know, introducing the guy, Peter Clarke. You know what I mean? We gave, you know, we know who Peter Clarke is. You know what I mean? This is, you know, we did a little research and we Googled Peter Clarke. You know what I mean? Type deal. We discovered, no, this is Peter Clarke right here. Now, this is the video that we used. This video that we stumbled upon, you know, when we found Peter Clarke, y'all. And now we listening to, you know, Peter Fury explaining exactly what Peter Clarke is to the team and whatnot. Y'all know what I mean? But, you know, we walking through the interview. You know, I stopped it earlier. You know what I mean? So we've identified that they have known each other at least 25 to 30 years, but this is the first time that they've ever talked about, their relationship on camera. Peter Clarke just got out of jail not too long ago, and Peter Fury had him on the team as a trainer, nutritionist, pad man, all of that good stuff. My thing is, my thing was, how do you know this guy in the first place, right? This crime boss, that's been locked away. And it came up here that, y'all was in jail together. You know what I mean? And when y'all met each other, in jail, that's when y'all actually seen each other for the first time. But you also said that y'all had already heard of each other, through the families and everything. You know what I mean? Like that. So exactly what families did y'all hear about each other through? And also, y'all said that y'all had a relationship 25 to 30 years, before this boxing, relationship that y'all talking about now. So what was that relationship that y'all had, 25 years before now? You know what I mean? And exactly what were you guys in jail for when you guys were in jail? You know what I mean? And his purpose now is a pad man nutritionist. You know what I mean? So, just to give y'all, the run up, you know what I mean? But y'all can catch the playback. I don't want to say advise. I hope you should catch the playback, you know what I mean? So you can really see, all the details that when we went through it, everything. So you can see all the video, that we put down to really explain what Peter Clarke, was before he was here on his couch. You know what I mean? But I continue, you know what I mean?
Which is what you need, isn't it, in a gym?
Well, Peter just touched on something there: loyalty, like trust, having people around that you don't have to watch your back around. It's such an important feature of a team, because often teams can implode and then it can spill out. But that's such an important factor, isn't it, Peter?
Oh, 100%, yeah. I mean, we've got it.
I want you to listen to what this interviewer said. He said that's the importance to have a team. He said because, not having a team, sometimes, stuff can implode. It can spill out. What are we talking about right now? I'm going to play it again, and I want y'all to really listen. I want y'all to really listen to him. The interview.
Direction, which is what you need, isn't it, in a gym?
Well, Peter just touched on something there: loyalty, like trust, having people around that you don't have to watch your back around. It's such an important feature of a team, because often teams can implode and then it can spill out. But that's such an...
What is he talking about? He said often teams can implode and it can spill out. What is it? What the fuck are you talking about? What can implode and what can spill out? He said often sometimes teams can implode and it can spill out. Now you could say that I'm looking too deep in it, but it sounds like that interviewer is talking about something in particular. He said because it can spill out. He didn't say because stuff can spill out. He didn't say team business can spill out. He said it. And then he said Peter had said something interesting. He said Peter said something interesting. It's the interview. Now he talking about stuff spilling out and everything. Now look at Peter Clarke face and look at Peter Fury face. It looked like, they both are looking at the reporter, right? They're both looking at the interview, right? Now look at the questions that the reporter been asking. Look at how Clarke looking at him and look at how Peter looking at him. Peter looking at him, with more of a like I think he tried to tip off Peter Clarke just getting out of prison, right? Peter Fury. I'm gonna let it play, y'all. I'm gonna explain later. I'm gonna let it play.
It's an important factor, isn't it, Peter?
Oh, 100%, yeah. I mean, we've got a great team here in the gym, and we all watch, like Peter said. We've all got each other's back, and everybody knows what they're doing, and everybody sings off the same.
Look at this, y'all. Where he said, hey, Peter, as soon as, hey, look, I'm gonna go back, right? They both looking at the reporter, right, with different looks on their face, right? They both looking at the reporter with different looks on their face. Yes, look, bro. They both looking at the report with different looks at the I think Peter snitched. I think Peter finna get his head locked back up again. Look how quick Peter looked down when he think other Peter, about to turn around and look at him, right? Like Peter Fury looked like he knows something. Look how he looking at this fucking reporter, y'all. He looked like he knows something. And I think the reporter tried to tell Peter Clarke off on something. Just listen to what they said.
Having people around that you don't have to watch your back around. It's such an important feature of a team because often teams can implode and then it can spill out. But
Peter Fury, right? Peter Fury wasn't looking at the reporter until he said sometimes, having the wrong team around, teams can implode and it can spill out. And that's when Peter Fury looked up at him.
Well, Peter just touched on something there, loyalty.
Look, watch this.
Like trust, having people around
head down
that you don't have to watch your back around. It's such an important feature of a team because often teams can implode and then it can spill out. But
right, look, as soon as he said teams can implode and spill out, Peter Fury looked right at that man. Now look at how Peter Fury looking at this reporter now. Peter Fury looking at the reporter like, hold on, bro, like you hitting too close to home right now. Watch Peter Fury in these exchanges. Watch how he avoid eye contact with Peter Clarke. Now, Peter Clarke ain't even look over at Peter Fury, but Peter Fury avoided all contact with Clarke at that moment.
100%, yeah. And we've got a great team here in the gym, and we all watch for, like Peter said. We've all got each other.
See how Peter looking down?
Other's back, and everybody knows what they're doing.
See how Peter looking away? See how he looking away now?
And everybody sings off the same song sheet on a daily basis.
He turned around with a smile. He's still looking away, though. He's looking away, but he's smiling now in the camera.
So it's good.
But before we talk about the big fight coming up with Savannah, it's important to get an update on Huey. I did speak to him just.
They even talk about Huey Fury. I don't want to hear shit about no Huey Fury. Now they finna go into Savannah. They finna talk about Savannah.
It's simple as that, isn't it? It's not rocket science.
But yeah, this is the introduction of Peter Clarke into, Team Marshall, Team Fury. They telling you, they introducing him to the team. They letting you know, where they come from, how he met him and whatnot. Now, again, to walk y'all back up to where we at right now, the first question I asked when we got here was, why would you hire, a drug lord? You know what I mean? Why would you hire a drug lord? Now, I still haven't got my answer. Why? You would hire him, but I also asked, who is Peter Clarke? And I figured out, Peter Clarke was indeed a drug lord who just got out of prison not too long ago. You know what I mean? He was caught up in a drug, guns, and money laundering scam, kind of like, the W. Killingham folks, right? And they keep, and then my third question was, so Peter Clarke is a drug lord. He just getting out of jail, right? Or he went to jail for money, drugs, and, laundering, right? Boom. My third question was, how does Peter Fury even know who this is? So while watching this interview, I found out that him and Peter Fury were actually in jail together. You know what I mean? So that made me, spring up another question. Why were y'all in jail anyway? You know what I mean? But so they know each other because they were in jail together. And what I found out in finding out that they were in jail together is that they had never seen each other until they both, went to jail, right? They had never seen each other until they both went to jail. But Peter Fury said that they knew each other for about 25 and 30 years because of, they both are in the family. He said, yeah, I knew about him because, we're both in the family, but I had never seen him until we went to jail. You know what I mean? So I just think that's interesting. But his role on Team Marshall right now is, right, he's the nutritionist and he's the he's part of the training team, right? He's the pad man, he's the nutritionist, and he's a trainer, right? Just to catch y'all up. But let me let this ad play.
Some other things, but you've got so much to give to the game.
I'm getting to the Savannah Marshall part right now. What's good, MP? What the
like
fuck?
my resume
Appreciate
was
you
where it
sliding through
needed
this junk. Glad you can make it.
Whenever we put a video up or a clip up, people are really interested in what you've got. Are you still sort of? I know you've often said in the past that training, if it wasn't for Huey and Savannah, you and your stable that you've got now, you wouldn't be training, you'd do other things, you'd focus on other things, but you've got some...
Listen to the
real good, healthy, strong competition there to be able to do as much as they possibly can. Sometimes you have to rein.
How Huey and Savannah at the top end. Obviously, there's other April Hunter, Michael Lecali, James Dean as well. But how do the two who are doing at the real top business end? How do they compare in the fitness?
Excellent. When we're doing things,
he said
they're both ultimate professionals.
He asked,
they're in the
right?
gym.
Yeah, I really do need to take my time, but I don't want to keep y'all up too long. Okay, this is what the reporter is asking this dude, basically fitness and nutrition questions, right, about the fighters, and this dude don't know shit, bro. He don't know shit. He asked him one time in his joint, how do they compare? As far as the fitness go, who you think is taking to the fitness better, right? And this man said excellent. He asked him how they compare. The nigga said excellent. What? Just listen to it. I just want y'all to listen to it for a second. I'm just let y'all listen to this dude not know what the fuck he talking about none of this nutrition shit that he asking this man. Just listen to him just for a second.
That's not Savannah Marshall. And she'll be showing just
every time he asks Peter Clarke a question, the boy don't know shit, man.
As an ex-forces guy, as an athlete, how Huey and Savannah at the top end. Obviously, there's other April Hunter, Michael Lecali, James Dean as well. But how do the
he just asked him. Look, he about to ask him how the two compare. Listen to him.
Two who are doing at the real top business end. How do they compare in the fitness?
Excellent.
He asked him how they compare. That nigga said excellent. What the fuck? He don't know shit. He don't know shit. Well, okay, look. Right, I'm done. Listen to him. Just listen to him.
They're both ultimate professionals. They're in the gym. They won't moan about anything. They'll moan afterwards, but they won't.
He said he asked him how do they compare, to other athletes, they'll be top athletes. That nigga said excellent. He said they're both ultimate professionals. They're both in the gym. They don't moan. Just listen to him.
Don't moan about anything that they get told to do. They'll do it exactly how they're meant to do it. And when it comes to being competitive, they're really competitive with each other as well. They're always, when we're doing things together, they're always pushing each other on.
He said when we're doing things together, they're always pushing each other on. Nigga, what is things? You a trainer. What are y'all doing when we're doing things together? What trainer says that shit, bro? What trainer be like, yeah, when I do things with my fighter, what is things, bro? What are y'all doing? Dog, what trainer talks like that? When we're doing things together, when we're doing drills, when y'all doing drills, when y'all doing workouts, when you doing pad work, that, why don't you say that? Things? What things? And why you smiling so big? And why you smiling so big? You know what I mean? Hey, I don't know who you is or who gas, but I feel like you're a distraction right now. So, boom. Hey, if y'all want to shoot dude, y'all can shoot him. But let's keep going though. Y'all, this shit classic. Y'all just listen, bro.
And there's real good, healthy, strong competition there to be able to do as much as they possibly can. Sometimes you have to rein them in. Sometimes you have to pull them back and stop them wanting to do more. But they're there every single day, no moaning, and wanting to push themselves on and make themselves better every day.
Yeah, great. And Peter, are you still sort of? I know you've often said in the past that training, if it wasn't for Huey and Savannah, you.
Now look, I stopped it here for a reason. Now the reporter said, "Now Peter, are you still training?" I know you said if it wasn't for Peter and Savannah, listen to him. Just listen to him. He about to ask Peter a question. Listen to the question that he asked Peter. Listen to the question that he asked Peter.
Real good, healthy, strong competition there to be able to do as much as they possibly can. Sometimes you have to rein them in, sometimes you have to pull them back and stop them wanting to do more. But they're there every single day, no moaning, and wanting to push themselves on and make themselves better every day.
Yeah, great. And Peter, are you still sort of? I know you've often said in the past that training, if it wasn't for,
he said, Peter, are you still sort of a? He said, Peter, are you still sort of a? Are you still sort of a what? But he finna change it. But listen to him.
It's better every day.
Yeah, great. And Peter, are you still sort of? I know you've often said in the past that training, if it wasn't for you and Savannah, you and your stable that you've got now, you wouldn't be training. You'd do other things. You'd focus on other things. But
he said, Peter, I know you always said if it wasn't for Huey and Savannah and your stable and your trainers, you always said that you wouldn't be focused on boxing. You would be doing other things. Did y'all hear that? One more time.
Real good, healthy, strong competition there to be able to do as much as they possibly can. Sometimes you have to rein them in, sometimes you have to pull them back and stop them wanting to do more. But they're there every single day, no moaning, and wanting to push themselves on and make themselves better every day.
Yeah, great. And Peter, are you still sort of? I know you've often said in the past that training, if it wasn't for you and Savannah, you and your stable that you've got now, you wouldn't be training. You'd do other things. You'd focus on other things. But you've got so much to give to the game. And whenever we put a video up or a clip up, people are really interested in what you've got to say. So, do you think there's a bit more longevity even after this stable, come to the end of their careers to even stay in the game for yourself?
I do enjoy. How can I say? I do enjoy when you can assist somebody, and obviously in boxing, I'm able to do that. So it's nice to be able to get somebody to do things what they can't do, and all of a sudden they start doing it. And that's a big pleasure for me. That's what I like. That's why I'm in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do like that. So probably, I think when Savannah and Huey's they've accomplished where they are, I will take a bit of a back seat. Maybe Peter can do a little bit more, and I can just sit back like we've done on the ring canvas and just give instructions rather than physically doing it.
Yeah.
Where I can just come in and part advice. I'd probably be interested more in that, because right now it's full on for me.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do there.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for Peter, there wouldn't be as many in the gym now because I can't deal with them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's ideal the way we've got the setup, because Peter's taking them on the pads, he's doing all the stuff with a lot of them, and I can just say that's wrong, work on this, work on that.
Yeah.
And obviously when Peter, he's in the mornings, because Peter does the Wednesday on the pads, do you, Peter?
Yeah.
And I'll take him on the pads a couple of times extra in the week anyway. So I'm busy. I'm constantly busy with it.
Yeah.
So you've got to be, haven't you? It's hard work. It's not easy. That's why all trainers need.
And there's other people in the gym as well. April Hunter, Michael Leclerc.
So you've got to be, haven't you? It's hard work. It's not easy.
How long's Michael been with us now?
With a fight with Deontay Wilder, which does sound to a few things we had on Twitter. A few things. Chisora just fought against Pulev.
And look, to be fair, me looking at it, I always see it. I had Pulev winning it, to be fair.
But
Bare knuckle fighting championship debuts in London.
So I know there was a lot, y'all. I know there was a lot, right? So what y'all think? So this nigga Peter Fury hired this nigga Peter Clarke, who is a former boxer, right? They said he used to box. They said he used to be in the military. And they said, when was this interview? Man, that interview was goddamn today. Nah, it was July 14th, my G. It was a month ago. The interview was a month ago. The interview was a month ago. But yeah, so TeamFury, Team Marshall, they hired John Clarke to work on their team as a motherfucking pad man, nutritionist, trainer. So he helped with a little bit of everything, right? Now we just broke down the interview, right? I kind of told y'all what I think about it. I told y'all like the shit that jumped out of me. Like that interviewer was talking real funny to me. Like the question he asked, I want to just matter of fact, let's just go to the questions that the interviewer asked, right? Let's just listen to the interviewer for a second. Let's just listen to the interview, like from start.
It was no
listen to
landslide.
I've got the two Peters with me here, Peter Fury, Peter Clarke. I'll start with you, Peter. It's been a good session today. I mean, it's really fascinating to watch world-class trainer and a world-class athlete working together. It's high-level stuff you were working on today.
Just a madman. You just get on and work. It's been a hard dozen. So over Wednesday.
In that framework, do you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, love it.
In that framework, do you enjoy it? What's it like working? I know you've worked with Peter along elements, strength and conditioning.
Especially today.
Listen to him.
It's a heavy pad session because it's two of us. So it helps.
Yeah, and I should introduce you, Peter Clarke. You do the fitness elements, strength and conditioning, some of the nutrition stuff as well.
He said, I should introduce you, Peter Clarke. You do the fitness elements, nutrition, some of the physical stuff as well. He ain't know what the fuck he did.
And what's it like working? I know you've worked with Peter a long time, but
He said, what's it like working with Peter? I know you worked with Peter for a long time.
Now we're officially on the camera talking about it. So what's it like working within that framework?
It's a heavy pad session.
He said, I know you worked with Peter for a long time, but not in the list to him.
Because it's two of us. So it helps.
Yeah, and I should introduce you, Peter Clarke. You do the fitness elements, strength and conditioning, some of the nutrition stuff as well. And what's it like working? I know you've worked with Peter a long time, but now we're officially on the camera talking about it. So
he said, what's it like working with Peter? I know you worked with Peter for a long time, but never officially on the camera talking about it.
What's it like working within that framework? Do you enjoy it?
Oh yeah.
What's it like working with him in that framework? Do you enjoy it? Now listen to what he said, right? Because it makes no sense. He said, what's it like working with Peter? Well, I know you've been working with Peter for a long time, but never talking about it on the camera. But what's it like working with him within that framework? First of all, bro, what the fuck does that mean? You didn't ask him anything. You said, I know you've been working with him for a minute, but you never talked about it on camera. But what's it like working with him in that framework? What's the framework now, right? And what's the way that y'all was working off of camera? But you said you never talked about it on camera. What's it like working with him in that framework? What? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? That's the first question that the interviewer threw me off a little bit right now.
Yeah, love it. It's great on a day-to-day basis. With
25, probably even 30 years.
Yeah. And Peter's the one that picks up on exactly what to do and wrong, exactly what to do and right. So it's great to see and great to watch.
Can we say where you met? Is that right to say where you met? Or
he said, "Can we say where you met? Is it all right to say where you met?" Did y'all hear this shit? Let's do it. Not making this shit up.
And Peter's the one that picks up on.
You guys met. Can we say where you met? Can we say where you met?
Exactly what to do and wrong, exactly what to do and right. So it's great to see and great to watch.
Can we say where you met? Is that right to say where you met? Or
can we say where you met? Is it all right to say where you met? Or
and Peter's the one that picks up on.
Listen to
exactly what to do and wrong, exactly what to do and right. So it's great to see and great to watch.
Can we say where you met? Is that right to say where you met? Or
well, we've actually known each other for probably 20, 25, probably even 30 years.
Yeah.
He said, I've known him 25 or probably even 30 years. How have you known him 25 or 30 years? He said, can we say where you met? Is it okay to say where you met? He said, well, actually, I've known him 25, 30 years. Did y'all hear that? So he just said, the first thing he said was, I know him 25, 30 years.
Well, we've actually known each other for probably 20, 25, probably even 30 years. Yeah, because he's Liverpool and I'm mostly in Manchester based, so but we never actually met.
Look how happy he was. He said, we known John actually 25, 30 years because he's on Liverpool and I'm on Manchester base. So we've never actually met. Liverpool and Manchester base. But you saw how happy he was, and then he said, so we never actually met. You saw how his energy shifted when he said, so we never actually met. Look how he was when he said they known you 25 years, and then he said, we never actually met, and he looked away.
Well, we've actually known each other for probably 20, 25, probably even 30 years. Yeah, because he's Liverpool and I'm mostly in Manchester based, so but we never actually met. So we met in the Lovely Strange Ways Hotel.
He said, we met in the Lovely Strange Ways Hotel. That means jail. Lovely Strange Ways Hotel. That's jail. So listen to him. They met in jail. Another question. Why y'all in jail? What was y'all in jail for? But look at the questions that the reporter asking these people, man. Just listen to them. The reporter asking weird ass questions. They giving weird ass answers. You know what I mean? It's like the reporter knows something. What do the reporter know? Is y'all getting the feel that the reporter knows something with these questions he asking? What do the reporter know? It's like the reporter is alluding to something, like he want to say something, but then he don't want to say something. But listen to him.
Okay. So he was doing his normal life stint, and I was doing near as damn it in numbers. So that's where we met. Now listen. We've always knew of each other anyway in the family, so.
He said, but no, listen, we've always knew each other in the family, though. So you've been knowing them 25, 30 years, but you didn't meet them until y'all went to prison. But y'all always been knowing each other within the families. So now my question is, the 25 and 30 years that y'all still ain't, accounted for, y'all still ain't told me what was y'all doing them 25, 30 years before y'all started working as boxers, because the reporter already said that what it's like working with him in this aspect, in that aspect, right? So y'all clearly had other business 25, 30 years before, but y'all never met in person, but y'all finally met when y'all went to jail, right? So y'all finally met when y'all went to jail. So my thing is, how was y'all knowing each other them 25 and 30 years? But let's keep going.
We met and we've got on ever since. And since we've both been out, we just got together and that's it. I only have.
He said since we both been out, we just got together and that's it. So y'all met in prison and y'all never spoke about the relationship y'all had on camera until now. And the reporter asked y'all, the reporter clearly stated that this is a different relationship from what y'all used to do, right? So what the hell do y'all used to do? But the reporter is talking like he knows something. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna take y'all to the next thing. The next red flag. The next red flag the reporter, said.
I don't have strength and conditioners. I've had them in the past, no disrespect to any of mine. I don't mean in my gym. No more. I've been fucked around with boxing. Like, I've had them in the past, no disrespect. We've been out, we just got together and we met and we've got on ever since. In friendship, care stress off me because he does it.
Well, Peter just touched on something there. Loyalty, like trust.
Has he done this?
He said Peter just touched on something, right? Loyalty. He said Peter just touched on something. Loyalty. Watch this.
Done that. I know it's getting done. That's the difference. Yeah. Because we're all aiming in the one direction, which is what you need, isn't it, in a gym?
Well, Peter just touched on something there. Loyalty, like trust. Having people around that you don't have to watch your back around. It's such an important feature of a team because often teams can implode and then it can spill out. But that's
what the fuck is this reporter talking about, y'all? He said Peter just touched on something about having a team and having loyalty. And a lot of times teams can implode and it can spill out. What is the reporter talking about? What's good, Aiden Johnson? Appreciate you sliding through. What's good, King Vonnie? What is the reporter talking about? The reporter talking like he knows something that they don't know. What's good, Aiden? The reporter talking like he already knows something. What are you talking about, bro? Say what you're trying to say. Just listen to him. Just listen to him. Nah, he's not talking about Billy Joe, dog. What made you think he talking about Billy Joe, dog? What he said that made you think he was talking about Billy Joe? They talking about how they met in their relationship with each other. That's what they talking about right now. The reporter is about to ask them a question.
Yeah, because we're all aiming in the one direction, which is because he takes a lot of stress off me, and he knows he's boxing because he's boxed himself as well. So the thing is, with the training side, I can concentrate more on the boxing, and sometimes I don't even roll in on the mornings because he does it. I ain't got to think, has he done this, has he done that? I know it's getting done. That's the difference. Yeah, because we're all aiming in the one direction, which is what you need, isn't it, in the gym?
Well, Peter just touched on something there: loyalty, like trust, having people around that you don't have to watch your back around. It's such an important feature of a team because often teams can implode and then it can spill out. But that's such an important factor, isn't it, Peter?
Oh, 100%, yeah. And we've got a great team here.
Are we talking about boxing?
And we all
talking about boxing?
Having people around.
Yeah, because we're all aiming in the one direction.
Having people around that you don't have to. Yeah.
Are we talking about boxing still, y'all? What is he talking about? No, he said having the team, he said having things implode and they'll spill out. You know, they did mention Billy Joe not once. The reporter is all over the place. Dog. I want y'all to listen, you know. Now they ain't said nothing about Billy Joe, dog. But he said, you know, having the team special. So you think they're talking about Billy Joe? You think there could be a Billy Joe reference? What did Billy Joe spill out about them? Now I could tell you what I think he's talking about having stuff spill out. You know what I mean? Then with Isaiah, you know what I mean? Isaiah. But now I'm trying to see where Dog get, because I want to have all the all the I's, lines, dotted lines and T's checked and shit like that. Because if he feel like it's Billy Joe, then I want to know what Billy Joe said. You know what I mean? I want to know what Billy Joe said. But the reporter, when he first came on, he asked him, he said, how is it working with Peter Fury? He said, well, I know you work with Peter. I know you've been working with Peter Fury for a long time, but you never talked about it on camera. But what is it like working with him in this aspect, right? So what other? So what aspect? What aspect was y'all working together in at first, right? You know what I mean? He said this would be your first time talking about it, on the camera. But what is like working with him in this aspect? Even though I know y'all been working with each other, for a long time. And then Peter Fury came out and said, well, I've been knowing him about 20, 25 years. I just never seen him until I went to jail. And that's the first time we met each other, when we was in jail. And then when we got out, we just been kicking it, when he got out, we just been kicking it ever since. But I heard about him for 5 to 30 years, because of the family, through the family. Now my question is, what family did you hear about him for 25 and 30 years? And what was y'all doing to the point where y'all never saw each other for 25, 30 years, but you knew about him through the family? You know what I mean? Y'all both was in jail, right? What were y'all in jail for at that time as well? You know what I mean? And now listen to the question that the interviewer just asked him.
Because we're all aiming in the one direction, which is what you need, isn't it, in a gym?
Well, Peter just touched on something there: loyalty,
Yeah.
like trust, having people around that you don't have to watch your back around. It's such an important.
He said trust and loyalty and having people around that you don't have to watch your back around. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? But let's keep going.
Direction, which is what you need, isn't it, in a gym?
Well, Peter just touched on something there: loyalty, like trust, having people around that you don't have to watch your back around. It's such an important feature of a team, because often teams can implode and then it can spill out. But that's such an important factor, isn't it, Peter?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
He said teams can explode, then it can spill out. What spilled out? If Billy Joe is who they talking about, right, dog? What spilled out? What did Billy Joe spill? What's good, Monica? Appreciate you sliding through this, Joe, Monica. Glad you can make it. Glad you can make it. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. What can implode and what can spill out? What are we talking about right here? You know what I mean? It's a lot of questions, being left unanswered. My guy speculating Billy Joe Sanders, and I'm speculating something that don't even have to do with boxing. It don't sound like we talking about boxing right now. It sounds like we having a conversation about something else and a little boxing being thrown in. You know what I mean? The interview to me sound like he knows something. It's like, what's really going on here? Like, y'all don't, it's just me, how I'm feeling about it. I'm not here trying to sway nobody or change their thoughts. What I'm doing is just I'm letting you into my mind, letting you know what I think, and I'm letting you know who these people are. You know what I mean? Exactly what's going on. But because this guy is in Savannah Marshall's camp, and Savannah Marshall do have a fight with Clarissa Shields. So I do think this is something that, the family should be aware. You know what I mean? What's good, Charles Granger? Appreciate you sliding through this, young Charles. Glad you could make it. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. But just listen to the questioning of the reporter.
And we've got a great team here in the gym, and we
you don't have to watch your back around.
He said the importance of having people that's loyal to you, that you don't have to watch your back around, because having the wrong people around, it can implode or it could spill out. What can implode and what can spill out? What are you talking about? Exactly, dog. What are we talking about here? But let's keep going.
It's such an important feature of a team, because often teams can implode and then it can spill out. But that's such an important factor, isn't it, Peter?
Oh, 100%, yeah. And we've got a great team here in the gym, and we all.
Another question. Watch this. Another question.
It's perfect. There's another.
Can't go into a ring unless you're 100%, can you?
Listen, and if you don't, say.
And it's dead effective, so it's obviously a good formula. This is working.
So far, so good. It's the same with any. I suppose it's the same with any. I've not been in other gyms. I don't see any trainers, but I suppose everybody's got a similar setup. I don't know.
Through. This is where they get their own. I think that's where they get their enjoyment. You see,
Be naturally gifted on one about, but if you see things year in after year, if you're not, and if you don't, and you want to be something, you know all that. So I know I've got to do what we.
I'm trying to get to it. It's another question the reporter.
Truly hard seltzer.
It's another funny question the reporter asked. This need more coverage. I do not trust that Savannah without your help benefits from being TeamFury. Not hitting the library. It's like leaving my purse. It would not happen. Appreciate you, Monica. Well, yeah, it's another question that he asked that I want to, I just want to bring the light again. You know what I mean?
Preparing a fighter mentally for that fight.
So it's not a problem. I think it's nice. I think Savannah would prefer Clarissa to be that way. It's better,
Be effective.
because if you understand the brashness, if you understand why she make mistakes, you can be. Look, it's like I say, for me, rather silently get about to work.
sometimes you have to rein them in each other as well. They're
doing at the real top business end, how do they compare? Dewey and Savannah at the top end. Obviously, there's other April Hunter, Michael Lucalu, James Dean as well. But how do the two who are doing at the real top business end, how do they compare in the fitness?
excellent. You know, the both ultimately to be able to.
I didn't even talk about that
You know,
question.
do you think there's a bit more longevity even after this stable?
Here you go.
Come to the end of their careers to even stay in the game for yourself.
I do enjoy.
Listen to this shit.
People are really interested in what you've got to say. So, you know, do you think there's a bit more longevity even after this stable? You know, if it wasn't for Huey and Savannah, you
Listen to
It's
him.
better every day.
Yeah, great. And Peter, are you still sort of? I know you've often said in the past that training, if it wasn't for Huey and Savannah, you and your stable that you've got now, you wouldn't be training. You'd do other things. You'd focus on other things. But
He said if you didn't have Huey and Savannah and your trainers and your stable that you got now, you always said that you won't be doing boxing. You'll be focused on other things. What the fuck do this reporter know that we don't know? The reporter is constantly talking in code. What do he know that we don't know? Just listen to him. Just listen to him talk for a second.
It's better every day.
Yeah, great. And Peter, are you still sort of? I know you've often said in the past that training, if it wasn't for Huey and Savannah, you and your stable that you've got now, you wouldn't be training. You'd do other things. You'd focus on other things. But are you still sort of?
You won't be training. You won't be
you
training. You do other things. You focus on other things. What other things would you be doing if trying and focusing on, Peter? What the fuck does this reporter know? You know what I mean? Just certain questions, bro. Like,
are you still sort of? I know you've often said in the past that training, if it wasn't for Huey and Savannah, you and your stable that you've got now, you wouldn't be training. You'd do other things. You'd focus on other things. But you've got so much to give to the.
it's like this trainer knows something we don't know, y'all.
And seeing the development of the likes of the young one.
Right, and young James Dean here, he's coming along nicely. So there's a lot of and there's other people in the gym as well. April Hunter, Michael Lacala, he's coming for good stoppage. You've got April on the undercard of Savannah's fight, and young James Dean here, he's coming along nicely. So there's a lot to be working with as well. So that you can have a big impact, can't you, Peter?
Isaiah Felix. Isaiah. Talk to him, dog. Talk to him, Isaiah. But listen.
Help Peter up.
Yeah, definitely. No, it is. It's good to see the likes of the young ones, like the likes of James Dean. Michael's still young as well. It's rewarding.
Yeah, people will probably pay to watch that type of thing. Just a couple of little roundups. There's an interesting topic. I'm just responding to a few things we had on Twitter. A few things. Chisora just fought against Pulev. What's on that? This
One of my sons there said, taking his foot. I think the rightful man's got his best luck to him. That was his best performance. But I'm pleased for him, and I'm pleased for Don Charles as well.
They're old school, aren't they? Those guys, old school.
So it's good,
Yeah.
He needs a break over here. And good luck.
To know about the big heavyweight fight, Joshua Usyk, the return that they're writing him off.
He asked her one more question, if I ain't mistaken. Want to make sure that I cover all these bases, y'all. But and I'm gonna run down exactly, the Peter Clarke story again. I'm gonna go back to Peter Clarke's story so y'all can see. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I'm gonna run down his story, y'all, like just to catch y'all up. I'm gonna pause it right here, so I'll let y'all hear the question. But I'm finna catch y'all up on exactly who Peter Clarke is. I'm gonna give y'all the rundown real quick while I go get my charger, right? Boom. But
Operation Red Start was a 12-month investigation into a serious and organised crime group led by Peter and Stephen Clarke. Originally from Netherley, Liverpool, more recently residing in Banks and Tarleton in Lancashire. Primarily, this was a drug importation and distribution investigation. However, the case uncovered several wider conspiracies. In addition to this, including the possession of firearms, a conspiracy to commit grievous bodily harm, and money laundering on a huge scale.
In September 2011, officers started to watch Peter Clarke.
Did y'all hear that?
It was immediately a
Importation and distribution investigation. However, the case uncovered several wider conspiracies. Investigation into a serious and organised crime group led by Peter and Stephen Clarke. Operation Red Start was a 12-month investigation into a serious and organised crime group led by Peter and Stephen Clarke. It's an organised crime group led by Peter and 12-month investigation into a serious and organised crime group led by Peter and Stephen Clarke. 12-month investigation into a serious and organised crime group led by Peter and Stephen Clarke.
Peter Clarke. Peter Clarke. Peter Clarke.
Operation Red Start was a 12-month investigation into a serious and organised crime group led by Peter and Stephen Clarke. Originally from Netherley, Liverpool, more recently residing in Banks and Tarleton in Lancashire. Primarily, this was a drug importation and distribution investigation. However, the case uncovered several wider conspiracies. Netherley, Liverpool, more recently residing in Banks and Tarleton and Stephen Clarke. Originally from Netherley, Liverpool, more recently residing in Banks and Tarleton in Lancashire. Primarily, this was a drug importation and distribution investigation. However, the case uncovered several wider conspiracies. In addition to this, including the possession of firearms, a conspiracy to commit grievous bodily harm, and money laundering on a huge scale.
In September 2011,
money laundering on a huge scale. Money laundering on a huge scale.
Officers started to watch Peter Clarke. It was immediately apparent that he was living beyond his means. The use of high-value cars was observed, as was frequent overseas travel. In the month of December 2011, this was spent in Dubai with his older brother Stephen and their respective families. In their
Dubai. Who else y'all know go to Dubai a lot? But that's who Peter Clarke is, though, right? So the question was, why the hell is Peter Clarke? Shout out my girl Monica Craig sliding through the jump on. Somebody else gave me a super chat earlier. I missed it. Where is it? My brother Jay Gibson. Shout out my brother Jay Gibson in the super chat $4.99. I saw you, Jay Gibson. I was cooking, man. I was rolling. I want to let y'all know who the hell Peter Clarke was. Shout out my brother Jay Gibson in the super chat. Let me go back down to my girl Monica. All right, but I'm in the chat now. Shout out my girl Monica. My girl Monica said a tip for that knowledge. Good work, T. I got to go. Shout out my girl Monica. Appreciate you sliding through the jump on. Glad you could make it. Yes, they are. Yes, but they also, but Peter Clarke worked with Tyson Fury and Savannah Marshall team now. You know what I mean? As a trainer, pad man, nutrition. He just helping out everywhere, you know. He just helping out everywhere. He used to be in the Army, but then he turned to a drug lord. And come to find out, Peter Fury said that he used to box, right? Where he used to box, I'm not sure, but he said he used to box. Maybe he boxed in the Army. You know what I mean? I guess. But he's now on Team Savannah. You know what I mean? I'll let y'all hear the interview for yourself. You know what I mean? What's good, big dog? Appreciate you sliding through this jump, big dog, Willie. Glad you could make it. TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this jump, fam. Wait, where is it? My bad. TWT in the building. You know, so you know it is what it is. I know I personally hit it, Team Shields, emailed them, hit up on all her social medias, the fan page, social media. You know what I mean? I sent the info. You know what I mean? I'm doing my job and due diligence, to get it out there. Even if they let it happen, they let it roll, which they probably is, you know what I mean? Because it's boxing. Like my guy Big Dog said, it's always been corrupt. I just think that, it's something that we need to be aware of, something that they need to be aware of. You know what I mean? Like, what's really going on? The interview is weird to me, man. I'm telling you, if y'all want to find the interview, just put in Peter Clarke and Peter Fury and look for the dude in the light blue shirt and Peter Fury sitting on the couch. It's going to pop right up. Peter Clarke, Peter Fury, I'm telling you. Like, and you can watch it for yourself, you know what I mean? But it was just a little weird to me. I get that whole interview was like weird vibes type deal. Like, why you even fucking with this drug lord anyway? And why was y'all in jail anyway? And how the hell you knew him for 25, 30 years before y'all ever seen each other? You know what I mean? Type deal. And what family did you know him through? You said you know him through the family. He got the great response. Like, and then like you said, you knew him in the family. What fucking family did you know him through that you never seen him? You know what I mean? What is the families? What families did you know him through? You know what I mean? But I just wanted to bring that to the light. I ain't gonna hold y'all up too long. I've been here an hour and 30 minutes. I think I got my point across. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody sliding through this joint. I'm finna go in there. You know, like, hey, big text. Big text. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through this John Skin Hardaway Sutton T. This ain't the past, this ain't the future, but just the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.